Welcome to the Chaos Commanders podcast. I'm Annie, aka Commander A, military wife, mom of two, and seasoned in navigating deployments, juggling schedules, and life's unpredictable missions.
And I'm Katelynn, aka Commander K, solo mom to a busy, neurodivergent teenage boy, business owner, and skilled chaos wrangler.
We're here for the moms who do it all, the sideline CEOs, the late night warriors, the women leading in their homes, businesses, and beyond.
If you've ever felt like you're running a tactical operation just to get through the day, this is the place for you. We're bringing raw, unfiltered conversations, honest insights, and tangible strategies to help you command the chaos like the Wonder Woman you are.
So grab your coffee, wine, or whatever keeps you going, because we're diving in.
Hey, Annie, did you know that you can adore your kids and still crave alone time?
What?
I know, right? Today we are acknowledging how often moms feel guilty for wanting space. And we are going to reframe the myth that good moms should want to be around their kids 24/7.
For sure. Spending the summer with my kids was absolutely amazing. We had some super fun adventures, but I definitely needed breaks. And with the feeling of I need a break came the infamous mom guilt.
Oh, yeah. And for me, I was working through this summer and Caden got to, go do fun things. He got to go have fun with you guys at the pool. Mm-hmm. And I loved that he was getting to go have fun and hang out with people, but I was missing out on that. I didn't really get to have a lot of fun with him. And so then when evening time came and I was exhausted from work, and sometimes I was a little overstimulated or in a bad mood and just needed some alone time, I was feeling pretty guilty for wanting a break after not really getting to spend much time with him. So that was pretty rough and not a good feeling.
Yep.
So today we are going to talk about all of that. And before we get into it, we are going to do our normal top of the show. So first, we're going to get started with our chaos anthem. So what do you have for us today?
Sure. Today's chaos anthem is I Am Light by India Irie. And what's my low budget drum roll snack? What's your snack, Katelynn?
My snack has been fresh fruit lately.
Ooh.
I find that is what I'm reaching for, and it's probably because of, everything's going to go out of season soon, and I'm just finding that produce is, not the best. It's harder to find the good stuff, right? And so I've just been trying to get all of it in that I can, and so I've been doing
candy.
Exactly. So I've been doing bananas with peanut butter and really loving nectarines lately.
Ooh.
So getting a lot of those. Yeah. What about you?
I haven't got on the nectarines kick.
Oh, okay.
I have to.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of roasted edamame, particularly the only bean. They're crunchy, yummy. They're great. It's a great grab and go snack too. Mm-hmm. And the Oikos Pro smoothies. I love the strawberry banana. Don't come at me for anybody who's anti-dairy. It's I've had to do a lot of grab and go lately. This week has been insane. They have 23 grams of protein in them. So I throw those in the car I don't leave it in the car because dairy, but I can drink it on the go and eat my roasted edamame, and I get like a boatload of protein and I don't feel guilty about it. So
yeah,
there's that.
Those are amazing. Perfect. Well, speaking of the week being crazy, what is your Annie update?
Yeah, so first week of school is in the books, and we are coming in hot. For week number 2, I am learning the tricks of car line, mostly that I need to be there an hour before school starts in order to make it to Raina's school in time to pick her up. So I've just been really trying to figure out what to do in the car for an hour, Monday through Friday. So 5 hours I'm sitting in the car, and I'm not good at sitting. So this has been a learning curve for me. Everybody who calls me, I'm like, call me between 2:15 and 3:15. Thank you.
Right. Yes. So you're going to want to do phone calls. You could do some podcast work. Like if we
Yep.
have notes to make, you can do that.
I did some continuing education for
Yeah.
my licenses.
Yep. Things like that. Read a book if you want to.
Sure.
You're not a knitter, are you?
I'm
You
not
don't
a
knit.
knitter, but you know what? Maybe now I've discovered a new hobby. Everybody's getting socks for Christmas from the car
Exactly.
line. Socks from the
Exactly.
car line.
There you go.
My
That
new
sounds like
business.
a great title for like an album or a book. Socks from the
Right.
car line.
All right. What's
I
our Katelynn
love it.
currently?
Well, so same thing here, kind of as far as the first week of school. The car line is not a problem for me because Caden has been at school until 5:15, 5:30 every day. So pickup is super easy.
I'm sure.
The first day of drop off was kind of a nightmare, just super busy, but it's gotten easier.
Yeah.
Things are getting more smooth for drop off. So yeah, first week of school, I feel like he's doing well. He likes his classes. He already had friends from the summer activities and he's meeting more kids that he likes. So everything is going well. He did make his first high school decision that I didn't agree with, which was dropping band. So that was
Boo.
a little tough to handle. So it was just for the silliest of reason. He felt like it was embarrassing to have to push the big drum or whatever he has to push because he's in the pit for band right now. And all the other kids, they just have like their instrument that they carry back with them, like their trumpet or whatever. And he has to push the big drum all the way across the school in front of everyone. And he's the only one who has to do that. And so he's like, it's so embarrassing. And then he doesn't like that he's late to English class every day because of band. And so we talked about it and, he loves it, but he just doesn't like those two things about it.
Sure.
And unfortunately, he went and talked to the counselor before he really talked to me about it. And she was just like, oh yeah, you can drop it. Just have your parents sign this form and then just don't go to band tomorrow and come talk to me. And then we'll get you a pass and you'll go to the new class that you're going to add, because he was going to add graphic design. And so I think because it got in his head that it was like just so easy to do and like, oh, this is exactly what's going to happen, he wasn't really open to any conversation about it.
Sure.
And my physical therapist, Amy, she actually was like, I bet he could have talked to the band teacher, and I'm sure there are other kids who would have been perfectly fine being late to class, who would have been happy to push that thing across
Right?
the school, or whatever. Like kids could have taken turns. Like maybe he could have had a friend go with him so he wasn't by himself. Like there could have been
Right.
other options besides dropping band.
That was maybe a knee jerk.
Exactly. And so, because he wants to do band next year. Like he's like, oh
Right.
yeah, I'll do it next year. Like, but he would rather play trumpet, I think, or, maybe take some drum lessons and get to play a different percussion instrument.
Sure.
So anyway, it was just, a little bit, like you said, a knee-jerk reaction, not one that I super agreed with, but I really want him to have like the most positive year ever.
Right.
And so I'm trying not to push back too much on things that, are not detrimental to his education.
Right.
So I wasn't a super big fan of the choice, but we're just going with it so that he has a great year. And then this past weekend we had our first cross country meet and he exceeded his goal. It was his very first 5K race ever. And he wanted to get a 22-minute 45-second or less. That was the time that he was hoping for. And he ended up with 22 minutes and 10 seconds.
Woohoo!
So
he
did
crushed
not.
that.
Yes, but he did not sprint at the end.
Oh,
It is a mental thing. We've got to get him past it. I was like, why did you not sprint at the end? We've all reminded you. And he was like, because it hurts. I'm like, yes, I know.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so yeah, it was a great, great week and just lots to celebrate with him. And yeah, just
Must have
just
been
good to
those
see him
new spikes
growing.
he got.
Yes, that was super exciting.
Super exciting.
Super exciting. Yeah, very cool.
Very good.
Very cool thing that happened. And just excited for all our kids for this new school year and
For sure.
lots of fun updates to come. So
Oh, boy.
I hope that, I hope that all of the parents out there are surviving the first couple of weeks. I know they don't all start at the same time, but
Yeah, I think there's
surviving
a
the first
bunch
couple
getting
of
ready
weeks.
to start today or this week.
Yeah.
So good luck to all the parents out there navigating that. Give yourself some grace.
Yes,
First
absolutely.
week is something.
It is. All of the adjusting for everyone can be exhausting. So yes, we are still kind of recuperating from all of that. So,
Yep.
but we are going to talk about first kind of the guilt gap, right? Like why
Yep.
moms feel guilty for needing space. There's societal expectations, internalized messages, and pressure to be on all the time. So let's
For
chat
sure.
about it.
Yeah. I think as moms, we have this pressure of our kids are only little once and the don't blink or you'll miss it. And of course, then there's that pressure of, but could I have done more? And this
Yep.
always makes me think about a picture, and we'll add it to the blog because it's like the best picture of motherhood representation. But it's a mom walking with her daughter, and she has a thought bubble with like a giant thought bubble with a whole bunch of things going through her head about what she could be doing more of. And the little girl has this little thought bubble, and all it says is, I love her. And I just think that it's perfect, right? Like our kids don't think about, could mom be doing more of this, or could we have had more of that? Like they just love us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really powerful image. And it's so true. Like we sacrifice so much from, the very beginning, obviously, our bodies and
Right.
all the things that we go through. And then just, if we're not careful, our identities, right? Like we get so wrapped up in everything about our kids and being everything for them. And so there's just this idea that self-sacrifice equals good parenting, and
Yeah.
that really sets us up for burnout. And that has happened to me a lot over the years. And I mean, I I tend to be a person who I feel like I prioritize myself to an extent. Like in my head I do, but I don't
Sure.
think I actually do, is kind of what I'm getting at here. Is like I I think about that I need to take care of myself. I am not someone who thinks that like, you know, I have to give all of myself to my child and I can't ever rest. Like I'm not someone who thinks that. I love me a nap, okay? Like I am a napper. So I definitely am that kind of person where I'm like, I can recognize when like, oh, okay, I'm overwhelmed or I'm this or I'm that and I need to take care of myself. But I think the problem is that I wait until I get to that point,
Sure.
right? Like I wait until I get to burnout. And so I feel like I've been in this constant cycle for nearly 15 years now of burning myself out, realizing, oh, I have a problem now, and then trying to recover from that while still trying to do all the things,
Right.
and then like barely recovering and then burning out again, right?
Yep.
And it's not, I mean, it's just because of being a single parent, because I've been a single parent for most of 15 years. And so it's not like out of choice necessarily, or because I am an overachiever as a parent or anything. It's just because you're trying to do all the things and, trying to not screw up your kids in the process
Right.
and like trying to do the best job you can for them and provide for them and everything. And so, yeah, it's just a vicious cycle, I feel like.
Sure.
And I just think it's so important, with all of that being said, to normalize needing breaks.
Yep.
That's true whether you are a single parent or whether you're a solo parent for some other reason, whether it's permanent or temporary. And, even if you're a married parent, like whether you're a mom or a dad, every parent deserves breaks
Yep.
from all the things that they have to do from work and parenting. And we are all whole people. As a parent, you are a whole person, not just a parent.
Right.
And that is something that is important to remember. And I think that remembering that and prioritizing yourself as a person, not just a parent, can really help prevent burnout. And that was one of the reasons why I really identified with that whole rebrand glow up thing that we've chatted about a time or
Yeah.
two. And why I wanted to start that, because it was kind of about just taking a look at your whole life and being like, where are some areas that I have been neglecting? Where are some areas that I could do a glow up in a sense, or kind of just like reevaluate how things are going. Am I focusing on them? Am I giving them the attention that they need and taking care of these areas of my life? And I feel like, especially with Katelynn going to high school, this is the perfect time because, as we've talked about in some other episodes, I'm going to have a little more free time.
Absolutely.
And so, having some free time, having some alone time, those are great times to discover my hobbies again and to get projects done that I've been putting off and to just evaluate areas and find areas for improvement and then take the time to do those. I think that just trying to pour into myself a little bit during this season is going to help me over the next 4 years to not burn out as often as I have been in the past.
Right.
So hopefully that inspires some other parents to maybe take on a challenge like that of their own.
Right. And I definitely need my me time, be that me working out, reading, or just getting a few things done without pulling the kids into it. And I mean, I'm all for the kids helping out around the house, but there are just some things that mom's hands need to take on
Yeah,
for the sake of
sure.
getting things done so that we can move on to the other stuff. So, I mean, and it's good for kids to see us doing things for us too, especially in this world of instant gratification. It's really good for kids to be bored and using their imagination. And so when you're taking your own me time, what a great way, what a gift that you're giving to your kids to say, okay, here's some blocks, go do something with it. And when I'm done, show me.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that loving your kids doesn't mean loving every moment of
Right.
being a parent.
Right. Yeah. Think of all the things that we do for our kids that we would rather not be doing.
Exactly.
They make us so
Exactly.
social.
Yes. Yes. Or like running recently at
Yeah.
the cross country meet.
You didn't
That was
really know that you were a runner until Katelynn started cross country, and now you're running everywhere.
exactly. Exactly. There's like a joke that it's the one sport where the parents are more active than the
Right.
students are, the athletes. Because yes, there is a lot of running, and running is like my least favorite activity, but you have to run from area to area to go see your athlete run by. And yeah, lots of running, lots of sweating, and it's not my favorite, but I love watching him. So
Next thing I know, you're going to be pulling me into some 5K that we have to sign up for now. Thanks, Katelynn.
you know what? I don't know that that will ever happen, but if it does, my jaw will be on the floor.
I love it.
All right. So let's talk about signs that you might really need a break, because sometimes these things sneak up on you a little bit. So if you are snapping over the little things, this one happens to me not often, but if I'm snapping over silly little stuff, that's a huge sign for me that I'm like, ooh, I'm kind of biting his head off, or then that usually tells me that like, okay, I need to take a step back and see like, where am I overwhelmed? What has me in this mood? So that is definitely a big red flag when it comes to needing a break. The next one is feeling overstimulated by noise, touch, or conversation. And I think all moms can relate to that, right?
Nothing like a good squeal and scream and fight in the car.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Being just like touched out, being like you've had too much noise, that sensation of like, being in a basketball gym or being in a loud concert, right? Just those things where it's just like, oh my gosh, there's too much. Or if another person says another word to me, I'm going to explode. If I hear mom one more time,
Yes.
right? I'm going to change my name.
What's that joke? Take a shot every time you hear the word mom. And
Yes.
then they're like, just kidding. You're going to die.
Right. Exactly. Number 3 is feeling resentment or exhaustion. And that's never fun. Like feeling resentment about being a parent, that is the worst feeling, but it can happen. And it happens because you have not given yourself a break.
Yeah.
And exhaustion, that just kind of comes with the territory, but it's a good sign that it's like time to prioritize yourself a little bit.
Yep.
And then number 4 is no longer enjoying time with your kids, even when you technically have time. So you're not pressed for time, but it's like you have time to hang out with them, but something is just not feeling right. You're not enjoying it. Something is up. You can feel that like your mood is just off and you're not like there fully present with them having a good time. that is a good sign to like take a step back again and just be like, okay, what do I need? What do I need self-care wise? What do I need to like bring joy back into this moment or back into parenting? How do I get joy back into parenting, so that things don't like derail further from there? So
Sure.
those are some signs that you probably need a break.
Yeah. Well, Commander Confession, I'm sure you remember over the summer the times that I would text you about how I felt so far behind and I couldn't get a rhythm. And of course, the guilt for needing to get things done for me, but also wrestling with the thought of taking away from their summer fun. And for the type A mom that I am, once I started laying out the day with mom time and fun time, that definitely helped. Of course, chores lists for the kids needed to be accomplished somewhere in between all of those things. And so that often would happen while I was having mom time. And I have to say, having a plan for the day really helps me let go of the I need a break guilt. And because the break it's already built in. And I
Mm-hmm.
did learn that the plan needs to be flexible because kids often throw the best laid plans out the window. So now that school is in session, it's like a whole extra day happens between school pickup and bedtime. And I think a great way to take a break from the hustle and bustle is to plan a family game night or movie night or an outing night, or we are going to go eat out for dinner night. And then schedule some wind down mom time in the evening. And this mom time happens for me as the same time as the kiddos do their assigned reading time that they have for school.
Yeah, those are great ideas. I love those. And I definitely am wanting to incorporate some of that stuff this school year just because I do know that my connection time with Caden is going to look a little bit different than it has in the
Sure.
past. And I guess some more specific examples of some things that tell me that I need a break with Caden is that I, especially recently, like over the summer, I think with a lot of the guilt that I was feeling as far as feeling overwhelmed in the evenings or not necessarily in the mood for hanging out every single night. And then just everything we had going on, right? Like I started a new job in the spring and then we recently moved and we were getting him into a new school and there was just a lot going on this summer. And my mom moved back down to Oklahoma. And so lots going on. And I found myself a lot of times Caden would be talking to me and I'd all of a sudden go, wait a second, I'm not listening to you. Like I would actively realize that like he's talking and I'm supposed to be listening. I'd be like, wait, I'm not listening to you. I need you to start over. And then he even said to me recently, I asked him something and he goes, Mom, are you okay? Because you asked me such and such and I answered you. And then like 20 minutes later, you asked me the exact same thing again. And I just said, I think I'm just really overwhelmed with, work and just trying to get settled in the apartment and, everything
Too many
there's just
browsers are open.
too many browsers, too many irons in the fire, right? There's just so much going on. My brain needs a break. And then this is true of Caden for his entire life. He has been so affectionate,
Sure.
both verbally and physically. Like he has been a hugger his whole life. He loves to hug people. And he also will tell me and my mom, I love you like 500 times a day. And I have felt so bad sometimes for it's like, he'll say, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And then finally, and you're telling him, I love you too. I love you too. And finally it's like, oh my gosh, honey, like you just said that 5 minutes ago.
Right.
It's like you feel so bad, but how many times can I say that to you, say it back to you?
Right.
And so then, yeah, sometimes you feel bad about that. And then just getting touched out from all the hugs, it's
Right.
like, can I give you another hug? Can I give you another hug? Constant hugging and everything. And so, I mean, that doesn't happen a whole lot. Like I'm very like okay with receiving all of his affection. That's totally fine. But there are times where as moms, we get overstimulated by
Right.
whether it be just verbal anything. It doesn't have to just be affection, but just constant, like, hey mom, hey mom, hey mom, talking
Right.
to you, or getting touched out. And that can be, I mean, obviously if you're married, there's affection from your husband that, sometimes women
Yep.
will complain about getting touched out in that way, but then from your kids too. And a lot of times that's why they feel touched out with the husband, is because they're like, oh my gosh, I've been having kids touching me all day. And then,
Right.
the husband wants affection too. And then you're like, leave me alone.
Right.
And so, yeah, so that's something that has come up with Caden before. And, he's just a little snuggle bug.
Right.
He'll kill me for calling him that at 15 years
Right.
old, but he is.
Nobody tell him that she said that.
Yes, nobody tell him that. And of course now he's like, don't hug me in front of my friends. But
Right.
then at home he's like, Mom, give me a hug.
And then there's that guilt that circles back around, right? Where you were like, why did I not want him to touch me? Now he doesn't
Yes.
want to.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. So yeah, there's all of that. And then the other one that, I mean, I have experienced this probably even before being a mom, but especially as a mom, is the revenge bedtime. And
Mm-hmm.
so where it's like, you've worked all day, you've taken care of your kid and your dogs, you've done dinner, whatever it is, whatever all your responsibilities are for the day. And then it's like, you should go to bed at 10 o'clock, but you don't,
Right.
because your only alone time, your only adult time is right before bed and or at bedtime, and you're like, I'm going to scroll on social media, or
Yep.
I'm going to watch a show, or whatever it is, read a book. Sometimes I would start a book and it's a good book, and then I'm like, I'm not putting this darn thing down because I'm enjoying it. And
Guilty.
yeah, it's my revenge bedtime, right? And so then you end up awake until 2 o'clock in the morning when you have to
Mm-hmm.
work the next day.
Yep.
And so,
Gotten
yeah,
4 hours of sleep and feel wonderful.
exactly. And that just like exacerbates the problem of the exhaustion and the overwhelm and all the things, because then you're tired and,
Right.
overstimulated possibly the next day. So
Well, and then
yeah,
there's the doom scrolling too, where you're like, oh, look at that mom doing. We're going to talk about this in a couple weeks, but
yeah,
you mean like you see the other families that are doing all the things, and they're so it's so great and so wonderful, and you could have done more. You could have done more. So
yes.
yeah,
Yep,
it's tough.
exactly. So yeah, all signs that you might need a break. So yeah, just
Yep.
wanted to give some examples of kind of things that we go through, and we have kids ranging in ages, and kind of what that can look like across those ages, and how it shows up in our real lives. So
Sure.
then let's talk about giving ourselves permission, right? Let's talk about the difference between intentional breaks and escapism.
Oh, you mean hiding in the pantry to eat a couple of pieces of dark chocolate without someone catching me? Escapism?
Or how dads will like take their phone and disappear into the bathroom
Yep.
for an
Yep.
hour.
That was a fun part of reintegration.
Oh, I bet. Yes. So yeah, that is real. Escapism, that can start showing up when you need a break for sure. And so breaks actually help you parent with more presence and patience. And I compare this to turning your work brain off on the drive home, right?
Sure.
So I don't get a drive home anymore because I work from home, which is amazing and super helpful as a solo parent. But for anyone who has had the experience of working outside of the home, and then you get off work and you get to drive home, and maybe you listen to music or an audiobook, or maybe you just drive home in silence, you kind of get this time period to just turn your brain off and basically transition out of work mode into home mode. And sometimes we just need to turn that parenting brain off. Sometimes
Mhm.
we need to transition from parenting brain to just adult brain, right? Like,
Yeah.
and as women, sometimes we need to turn it off from mom brain to just woman brain, and
Sure.
get to get to be a grown-up woman that isn't a mom for a
Yeah.
minute, right? So I think that that's something that's really important to prioritize, and to give ourselves permission to do that every once in a while.
Yeah. I feel like we as moms, or maybe just me, get stuck in this trap of basing our self-worth off of how much we do for others or our kids. And when in reality, we don't even have to do it all. We don't have to be at every practice or every class party. I tell my kids this all the time. You are always going to miss out on something because you can't be at everything. So, and the same goes for parenting. Sometimes we need to miss the softball practice because we need a break, but we will definitely be at the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that as our children start to get older, it's really important to start practicing missing things.
Sure.
Because in high school, you won't get to go to everything. And sometimes, in fact, you're going to be intentionally left out. And that
Yeah.
happened recently.
That was a big sore spot, huh?
It was, yeah. So at this new school, we found out that for the high school open house, it was for students only. So the parents
Boom.
did not get to go. And so last year, I got to go with Caden to his open house. We went around and met all of his teachers. So I at least, had a face of who I might email if I had a question. I could see like what classroom he was going to be in. And you just get to go get the papers for all the things, right? Like what clubs can they sign up for? Because let's face it, they're teenagers and they don't always follow directions.
Right.
when you're telling them like,
What?
go make, right? Make sure you walk your schedule. Make sure you go find your locker. Make sure you do all of these things. And so, they're wanting them to establish some independence, which is great. So they were supposed to go meet their teachers, find their locker, walk their schedule, learn about things that they could sign up for, do all of that stuff on their own. Then they had like a little tailgate and they could go watch a football game. Well, I mean, Caden went and he did about half of the things that he was supposed to do. Imagine that. It all ended up being okay. He survived and, it all worked out. But I still don't know what clubs he can sign up for. I don't know if he's going to sign up for any because, I'm a little bit clueless as far as the information goes.
Sure.
And then not only will schools start to leave you out of things, but then like this weekend at the cross country meet, well, after it, a bunch of the kids on the team wanted to go out to eat together. Well, I was Caden's ride. And so parents were not included and a bunch of the kids can drive. And so I took Caden to go eat with his team, but I wasn't going to be like the only parent who's like, hey guys, I'm going to come join you. So I drove through the drive-thru and got myself food and went and just ate in the car by myself. And he went into the restaurant and ate with his friends because I didn't want to embarrass him. I wasn't going to like go in the restaurant and sit in there. It's like, whatever. I just turned on a show on my phone and sat there and watched it while I ate, and he went in with his friends and it was totally fine. I'm totally
taking a
fine
break.
Yes, it was a lovely break. I got to watch something I wanted to watch by myself, and I'm an introvert, so I'm fine being in the car by myself. It was totally fine. But point is that it's important to practice missing some things, right? Because like I missed open house with him because I wasn't allowed to be there. I missed whatever fun time he just had with his friends at this breakfast because it was just teenagers getting together and parents weren't there. So it's really important to let go of this fear of missing out on all of the precious moments 24/7. Because eventually you're not going to be there for them, right? Like it's this like gradual letting go, and just something that we should all get used to at some point.
Absolutely. Be like Elsa. Let it go. Well, breaks aren't a betrayal. They are a boundary.
Absolutely.
So what do breaks actually look like? Breaks can be micro moments of rest. So 10 minutes in the car, you having lunch in the car and watching Netflix, locking the bathroom door, hiding in the laundry room.
Or a lunch break nap. I like to do that every once in a while when I'm tired and overwhelmed with my job. So yeah, that's a good one.
And then there's bigger breaks, asking for help. So hard to do, but people want to help. There's kid swaps, there's solo nights out, there's the screen time sanity tools, And mom only hikes, a fan favorite.
Yes.
There's also mental breaks. So journaling, prayer, affirmation, silence. Love that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the tech boundaries and overstimulation recovery.
Yeah. And then let's talk about some commander hacks. So setting not available hours is a great one. This is boundaries for rest. You can set bedtime mode on your phone or DND, do not disturb. Those are great settings on your phone. You can also do an affirmation board or phone background reminders. You can also do a recharge routine list for you, not just the kids. And some of those things could be like taking a nap or having quiet time. Like, what are the things that recharge you? And think of a few things. You could have just like a list of things you can pull from, or maybe it's an actual routine. Like, I do these 3 steps to recharge, you know? And then another one is use noise canceling headphones or a brown noise machine to reset your nervous system.
Yeah, you're not falling apart. You're just a human with needs. You're allowed to say, I need space, but still be a deeply loving parent. Model boundaries and self care for your kids by practicing it yourself. And it's like they tell you on an airplane, should the oxygen masks appear from above, you need to secure your own before you can start helping others.
Exactly. And remember, rested moms yell less, smile more, and show up with softness. And taking a break doesn't make you less of a mom, it makes you more human. We'll talk to you next time. All right, Chaos Crew, that's a wrap for today. If you loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your fellow commanders.
Don't forget, we're all in this together. Join the conversation in our Chaos Commanders community on Instagram and Facebook, where we keep it real, raw, and ridiculously fun.
Remember, our fears establish the limits of our lives, so go push past them.
And always leave others better than you found them.